Broadcast is live, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is it.
Hell yeah, look at that.
Oh my god, that is so cool. Look at my mustache. I'm giving 3 mustache eyes. And it disappears into the blackness. That is so fucking cool. How did you do that? Can you hear me?
I can.
That
was pretty clumsy. Oh shit. I turned the I thought I turned our camera.
Okay, am I back on? I'm back on, I think.
Yes,
that was cool as shit.
I know, but hang on.
With the music coming in and then the twirly.
I know, but we need to make it more graceful.
Of course. Yeah, we're getting there. This is only show 3.
We are
welcome to show 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to show 3.
Undercurrents with Kristen. Wait, are we doing last names?
No, we're not doing last names.
Okay, with Kristen and Jeffrey.
Unnecessary.
Undercurrents. It's the Undercurrent show. Talking about politics, current events. You know, here we go. And we're going to start off with
Well, first of all, what are you drinking tonight? Are you drinking?
I'm always drinking. More whiskey.
So am I.
More cheap whiskey. Shots.
White girl beer.
Okay.
Again.
Beer.
Oh, you got everything.
Oh, I got a chaser. Yeah. I've been watching this show called Landman with Billy Bob Thornton, where he plays. He works for an oil company, and he's the guy that gets all the land rights and shit. But he's like, I don't drink anymore, and all he drinks is Michelob Ultra. But he's like, I don't drink. He said, this isn't alcohol.
Oh, I'm not even drinking then.
Right? Yeah, exactly. You're not even drinking.
I drank a Bud Light yesterday, and I liked it more than Ultra.
I
think I'm going to go back.
Yeah, Ultra's water, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it'll get you there.
Item 1. Goodbye, and thank you so much for your service, President Jimmy Carter.
Seriously, national treasure.
National treasure. He is definitely a national treasure. He's one of the best presidents we've ever had, in my opinion. And
well, I would say the best person.
Best person to be a president.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you're like a teeny tiny bit older than me. Do you remember his administration? Do you remember?
I remember. The only thing I remember his administration was sitting around the dinner table when Iran turned into a theocracy, and all of a sudden, all of our the Shah of Iran was deposed, and it went from a modern society to a fucking religious autocracy in the blink of an eye. And all of our American diplomats that worked in the American consulate, they were blindfolded and fucking taken away. That's what I remember about Iran growing up, and Jimmy Carter. I mean, that's what I remember. That's the biggest thing I remember about Jimmy Carter, because that was his legacy, unfortunately. And when he tried to go in and rescue people, he went into Sudan, I think it was.
It didn't go well, right?
We lost like 3 helicopters. A lot of people died.
See, I've heard stories, but I was not old enough to remember. We
didn't make it. We did not make it. We had like 2 helicopters went in, and the first one crashed, and like people died. You know, it was the Navy SEAL shit, and they died. It was an overnight mission in the dark, and they fucked it up somehow. And and that really sealed his fate, because he tried to make the big rescue, but when you fuck it up and you're the president, then and also the winds of change were blowing towards fucking republicanism, and what's his name?
Well, really, kind of very similar to what's happening right now, because I mean, the Iran thing was part of his legacy, but the other thing is inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't there for it, but I've seen videos of like the gas lines and the ramp, and I've heard about like the mortgage rates and just how horrible it was.
Oh yeah, when I was I don't know shit about the mortgage, but with the gas stuff, I remember at one point, because my parents talked about it. They were probably in their late 30s, early 40s at the time, My brother and I were early teens, maybe 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there. And I remember when they talked about gas and, OPEC and the oil embargo and all that shit in Iran and everything I just talked about. But it went from like 75 cents a gallon to all of a sudden $1.50 overnight, or $1.25.
Oh my God,
Yeah, which is
$1.50.
like a 10 spike, which is just fucking huge for most people. All of a sudden you think you can fill up your gas tank with $5. Now it's going to cost you $8. You know,
I wonder what that is like adjusted for inflation now, though. Like
Up
$1.50 in
from 20 to
1977.
50, probably.
Okay, I'm gonna Google this right now.
Okay, good, do, because I mean,
I'm
for
gonna do
my
it.
gas tank, I've got a 2004 Nissan Titan pickup truck with the suicide doors in the back for a cab, and I've got about 21 gallons, and I just filled up at Costco at $2.42 a gallon. Cost me $50, just over $50, like $50 and change, to get up to 21 gallons.
Okay, so that would be the equivalent of $7.91 a gallon in today's money.
There you go.
Yeah, crazy. This is
I
not a
know.
very good in memory of. We're just listing all the failures. But honestly, like that's what I grew up in a Republican house and they didn't like him at all.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
I
all I ever
mean,
heard was Jimmy Carter was shite.
right.
Um, and it wasn't until like after his presidency that you really saw like what an amazing person he was. Like he was a genuinely good person. And
Mm-hmm.
how often does a genuinely good person rise to the top of politics? Like it's almost like an
Never,
oxymoron.
never,
Never. It doesn't happen.
fucking never.
And
Yeah.
it makes you wonder if like the powers that be, and this is a little conspiratorial, but if the powers that be kind of had it in for him and wanted to sabotage his
I
administration.
wouldn't doubt that. I mean, yeah, I could see how they'd be like, "Fuck him, fuck this peacenik,"
Yeah.
you
Well, and
know?
an honest actor is always going to be at a disadvantage when
Right?
going up against the monsters and ghouls that really run the show, right?
Exactly. The
So,
fucking monsters and
he's
ghouls.
probably
You are
there taking
correct.
people seriously.
Monsters.
He's
Yeah, they
probably
are.
taking people at face value and they're
Yep.
manipulating and maybe you have to be a monster and a ghoul to I
Right.
mean it's pretty gross though.
But he was a governor, of Georgia,
He
and
was a governor and a peanut farmer.
yep, and he obviously had managerial skills. He figured some shit out, and but in the end, he was just a decent human being and a habitat for humanity. And also, here is a really cool point, which is neither here nor there, but Willie Nelson got to visit the White House when Jimmy Carter was president.
Ooh, did they smoke a doobie together?
No, but Willie Nelson went on the roof of the White House with the solar panels before Reagan took them away. They had solar panels on the roof.
Are you serious?
Fucking,
In the
yes.
70s?
Yep. That was Jimmy Carter did that, and then Reagan fucking took them off. But
Reagan's
before
an
Reagan
idiot.
did, fucking Willie Nelson was there, and he smoked a big old spliff up on top of the White House. He fucking smoked a doobie.
I like to think of Jimmy Carter up there with him, even if he
I
wasn't.
know. Even
like,
if he wasn't, I would like to think he was up there. That would be
yeah,
nice.
me
Yeah.
too.
I mean, Jimmy smoking a split. I'll tell you what, Willie. Back when I was a young man in the peanut farm, that totally reminds me of, you remember SNL, of course, and that's when SNL started, was in 75, 76. Jimmy Carter was president. He was the first president during the first season of SNL, and Dan Aykroyd played him. And they did a scene.
For reals? How have
Yeah.
I never seen this? I kind of want to find it on YouTube now.
We should find it. Yeah, it's on YouTube. But Dan Aykroyd played him, and they were pretending to be in the Oval Office, and it was supposed to be Carter, played by Dan Aykroyd, with like Ehrlichman or one of his chief of staff or somebody, and they were taking calls from average Americans, right? It was like this reach out to the people kind of a movement thing, and so they get this call from this guy who's like super high on some kind of drugs, and he's like, "I'm really freaking out, Mr. Carter, Mr. President, I don't know what to do right now." And he says, and Dan Aykroyd is Jimmy Carter. He's like, "Hold on there, Bobby. Just tell me, what did you take?" And he said, "Well, they were these little orange pills." That sounds like orange barrels. That's more of a speed-based derivative. It's going to be. He starts going through what the drug is and shit. was so funny. But yeah, Jimmy Carter, he was, I'd say he was one of the more empathetic and feeling presidents. President
Well,
that really
like yeah,
understood.
like a real person.
Yeah, like a real person that was empathetic to the human condition. Ugh. And we didn't see that shit. We didn't see that until way before since FDR. Really, Delano Roosevelt was the only person that had any compassion for the American people.
Well, I would say
Well,
Kennedy
maybe
probably
Eisenhower,
did.
Ike did.
Well, Ike had a lot of common sense, but I think Kennedy talked a
Yeah,
lot about
Kennedy did. Yeah,
he
you're right.
talked a
You're
lot
right.
about universal health care, and
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I kind of made a general broad statement there, but I
but
don't know.
as far as being like a genuine president, like a genuine
He's a more
person as president, he's the only one within my lifetime. I mean, Gerald Ford was president when I was born, like barely.
Oh yeah.
I'm aging myself right now,
Yeah.
and like I obviously have no memory of him, but the rest of them didn't seem like real people, and they still don't.
Well, no, and my first presidential memory was Nixon, and my parents. I grew up, like we've said before, in very conservative West Michigan, Lower Peninsula. Yeah, they thought Nixon was God. Like, I mean, I heard so many good things about Nixon from my mom growing up. Like he was like Jesus's brother, basically. I mean, he was basically almost the chosen one, And then for him to have Watergate and to fall from grace like that was just like, oh my God, that was the end of the world.
Isn't it crazy that that's all it took was Watergate, though? Because
yeah, and nowadays you can have 34 indictments and be a fucking felon and still be a president.
Oh yeah, you can send a mob to the Capitol to take over, and still, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's craziness. I do think the scandal with Nixon is probably what led to Carter being elected, though.
Yeah,
I think people were ready for somebody that seemed honest. His whole thing was, "I won't never lie."
Honest,
and I don't think he ever did lie.
And no, he didn't. I don't think he did. And he was a fucking purebred good boy.
Yeah, and he was
married to his sweetheart from high school, for Christ's sake.
And he was overtly Christian, and contrast that with Christians of today.
Oh yeah, and he was evangelical for the time. And which is not what evangelicals are today. That's
he practiced it. He practiced it as it was meant to be practiced.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he was a Christian man in the true sense of being a Christian man.
I mean, these days the evangelical Christians are just a tool of the Republican Party, and they'll go wherever the Republican Party tells them to go, even if it's to support somebody that's the antithesis of what they claim to believe in.
Yep. Totes McGroats. You are correct. Yeah.
Rip Jimmy.
Fucking A. Rest in peace, Jimmy. He's one of the last great ones. Hey, pour one out.
We're gonna toast.
Toast to Jimmy.
Rip Jimmy.
Jimmy Carter. Rest in peace, my brother.
Legend.
And your wife.
Absolute fucking legend.
One of the greatest. A fucking goddamn legend.
Wait, that was Coke. That wasn't even alcohol.
No.
That was your chaser. Okay.
Yeah, that's my chaser.
Oh, you're going straight out. You're going straight out the bottle.
Come on. Yeah, I'm getting.
You are raw dogging that shit.
I'm all over it. Well, more bang for your buck is what I'm talking about. I'm
fucked up for less money.
That's right. Gotta get drunk quick. Give me a shot and a beer. Boom.
Hell yeah. What else is going on in the world?
Okay, we got to talk about Cenk Uygur.
You want to jump into that now?
Let's get into it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what do you? No, I think that's good. I mean, what do you think's going on? What's your history with TYT? When did you encounter them? What's your impressions of them previously compared to now?
My impressions of TYT, the Young Turks, has always been. I've seen them as a progressive news organization on YouTube that is trying to give alternative viewpoint from mainstream media. And Cenk Uygur, who's their main guy, he's the owner, CEO, he moved in there from MSNBC. He got fired from MSNBC because he was a real firebrand. He was a real, hothead. And MSNBC said, fuck you, we don't want that. You got to go. So they canned him. And then he brought up the Young Turks. I don't know where he got the name, but it's it's a TYT, the Young Turks.
It's there's some historical value to it.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah,
has to do with revolutionaries. I don't know the whole thing either.
Okay, and maybe part of his heritage as well. But then he got Ana Kasparian, who is another talking head journalist. She and him, he and her, they were the two main heads on that show.
Well, they still are.
And they still are. And they've got other people, and they have a couple offshoots, Rebel headquarters, and a couple other things. But the Young Turks itself has all of a sudden made this shift, and we talked about it last week, from the left, from the progressive, and starting to move towards the right. It seems like they're. I mean, it seems like they're doing it for the money, is my impression. But when I watched a little bit of Cenk Uygur and we'll show this with Charlie Kirk at the Turning Points USA, which is a right-wing douchebaggery fucking thing. And he was on it. And so it sounds like he's trying to make inroads and be conciliatory and say, these are these are the things we have in common. When, in my opinion, I don't have anything in common with Charlie Kirk and Turning Points USA. I think they are antithetical to everything I hold dear.
Well, they're Christian nationalists.
Yes,
they're antithetical to what the country stands for and what the Constitution stands for.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. And so for Cenk to talk to them in a conciliatory tone and say, these are the things we agree on, and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. It doesn't seem genuine.
Well, I would be more charitable towards him, and we'll get into the point by point, and I'm not mad at a lot of it. And in a vacuum, I would be more charitable, but we've seen this before, right? So I didn't start getting into progressive media until, the Bernie Sanders revolution, 2016. Right. And ironically, the first creator I found was Jimmy Dore, and I was really into Jimmy Dore. And then, Kyle Kulinski, who's still my favorite.
Yeah, Kyle has stayed true to his
the
whole
time.
I
mean, so then I kind of meandered and eventually found TYT, but it's never been. Right. It always to me, and I know I was catching them way later, but it always had kind of a corporate feel to it anyway.
Yeah, and then especially when they got funded. Who funded them? Katzenberg for $25 million.
Yeah, and the 20 million, something like that.
20-some million, yeah, like almost 25 million.
Their souls to the devil.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that, and that was like 5-6 years ago. So that's been a while.
Well, there's more of that. There's more of that shit going on too. Like there's studios sponsored by.
Where the money comes, that seems to be where the corruption is, and that seems to be where the compromise is. Because all of a sudden, we got money, so maybe I should talk to these people. Where before they never wanted to fucking talk to them ever. I mean,
well, I think at the end of the day, Cenk is a progressive, but before he's a progressive, he's a businessman.
He's a capitalist.
And he has a business that he has to run. Right. And, he falls into that trap that a lot of nonprofits fall into, where it ceases to be about the goals and the mission of the organization, and it becomes about the survival of the organization. At the expense of the actual mission of the organization.
Right. Just so he can keep the money rolling in.
Yeah.
To make it run still.
Yeah. I mean, look at the issues where they've gone right. Crime, homelessness, trans people, LGBT issues.
It seems like big on trans. I've been hearing Ana Kasparian say all sorts of terrible things about trans people. And
she's sounding a little turfy.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about, you crazy bitch?
Did you see the interview she did with Jillian Michaels?
No.
Also gross.
Really?
Yeah. I think Jillian Michaels is. I don't know for sure, but I think.
I don't know Jillian Michaels.
She was like an exercise guru.
Okay. Wasn't she on the Too Fat or whatever?
Mostly what I remember her from is the Eric Andre show.
Wasn't she on that NBC show about losing weight though?
She was on some losing fat show or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think she
was the biggest loser.
And don't quote me on this, but I think they were kind of abusive to the fat people on that show. I never watched it. I never watched it.
So I never did either, but I saw clips and I think they were kind of abusive to fat people. You know what? I'm a fat person.
Yeah.
I am overweight, and if somebody yelled at me and said, "Get your lazy ass up," and I'd be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
I'm done.
But like, so back to kind of the Jimmy Dore thing. So I started with Jimmy Dore, and like obviously Kyle Kulinski stayed, you know, kind of. I mean, I've been watching him since 2016, and he hasn't changed a bit.
Yeah, Jimmy Dore.
But we've seen this movie before with Jimmy Dore. We've seen it with Dave Rubin.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the guys that were, you know, pretty militant leftists.
No!
Oh my God! What did you do?
I dropped a glass. Sorry. It had some water in it.
Everything good?
Yeah, everything's fine. I was turning on a fan, but I reached over and I'm clumsy.
We're live. There's no cutting this out today.
Right? No cutting out. That's fine. I got to turn the fan on. Okay, cooling me down. All right, let's go. Jimmy Dore.
Getting too hot. Well, yeah, Jimmy Dore, Russell Brand. That was another
Russell Brand. Russell Brand became a fucking Christian. What the fuck?
I loved that man so much, and I believed in him so much.
I did too. In the beginning, when he would come out and he'd be like, you know, totally spiritual and like, you know, we are the eyes of the world, and you know, everything is spiritual and blah 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 blah. You know.
Yeah. How do you go from that?
How do you go from this Eastern religious guy into fucking Mr. Christian?
Into like organized Christianity.
Yeah, it blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a grift, right? I mean, everyone calls everyone they disagree with a grifter these days. Like Cenk Uygur has even been calling Sam Seder a grifter.
Oh yeah, you told me that, which is the most ridiculous thing anybody could ever say, because Sam Seder is the furthest. Sam Seder is the furthest from a grifter that could ever be. Sam and Emma and his whole staff there, they are just about the news and reporting the news and being a progressive news place. They're not about anything underhanded at all. You know, Sam Seder is my fucking hero. I love that guy.
Well, a lot of it is Cenk needs an excuse not to have to debate Sam Seder, and his excuse over and over has been he's just a grifter, he's a dishonest actor, and I don't.
Yeah, that's what Cenk is saying. Yeah, but what I say about Cenk is a pussy, and he's not able to fucking have a debate with a real man, with a real progressive person, not even a man. Just he. I mean, I'd like to see Cenk up against Emma. Emma would fucking rip him to shreds.
Yeah.
I mean, she's as good as Sam, if not better. I mean, they're on the same level.
Well, what Cenk ultimately does is just try to overshout whoever he's talking to, especially if they're kind of showing him up. He'll try to just shout over them. Did you see the debate with Francesca? I don't know what her last name is.
Fiorentini.
Yeah. Did you watch that one?
No.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch.
But I love her. I love her.
Okay, go to her channel and watch that shit, because she put him in his place, and it was pure art. It was art on the level of
I think I know what you're talking about.
Sam Seder.
Yeah.
Debating libertarians.
Francesca, she still works for TYT right now, as far as I know. But
yeah,
she's not cool with what they're doing. You know, I don't think. And I would say she is also on the same level as Sam Seder. You know, I mean, as far as ideals and her political outlook and everything, and very progressive, and could talk you under the table. Argue any libertarian under the table and rip them apart. You know, I love to see Sam against libertarians. It's so funny.
I know, right? It is. Yeah. It is pure art. I love it.
It really is. It really is. And that whole staff, you know, they got their shit together. You know, they're uncompromised. They're pure to their vision. I mean, they're like Democracy Now, but on a much smaller scale. You know.
Yeah.
And Democracy Now, of course, is on a small scale too. But I mean, compared to mainstream media, but you know, those are really the two best left-wing news shows on YouTube or on that's out there.
Mainstream media is not what people think it is anymore either.
No, it's not.
Clearly, it doesn't have the pull that it used to.
No, not at all. I mean, yeah, and we might have talked about this last time, but it's like, you know, the news sphere and the media sphere that we grew up in does not exist anymore. You know, there's not just 3 channels. There's a million channels on your computer, and nobody watches TV anymore. You know, I don't watch TV anymore.
Corporate news, I mean, it's obviously steered and scripted by the corporations that sponsor it and the owners of the companies, which, you know, where there used to be dozens and dozens of media companies, now there's
only 5 or 4.
There's like 4 or 6 or something.
Yeah.
So everything's homogenous. Yep. And you know, people can see through that shit. And I think that's kind of where Cenk is going to, where he's going around saying, well, the mainstream establishment was defeated, so that's a great victory. And he always brings it back around to, you know, he wants TYT to fill that void. And that comes back to him being a businessman.
Right. And he's not going to fill that void with his businessman cock or whatever, you know. I mean, sorry.
No, because his product is coming off disingenuous, just like mainstream media does.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
he's compromised himself for the cash.
Yeah, and it's transparent. We can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Well, should we watch this shit now?
All right, throw it in.
Okay, I'm going to put it up here. And we will.
And if you got to skip by shit, you know, skip by shit.
Okay. Wait, what are we skipping?
I mean, if you have to skip by stuff, feel free.
We're gonna move them over here.
I'm just saying, I don't want to listen to these cocksuckers the whole time.
All right, let's. Charlie Kirk. How come I can't make it go? Play. Oh, there we go.
Turning Point USA. When was this? Like 3 weeks ago?
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for that warm welcome. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
So Cenk, the spirit of inviting you is that there's some confusion of these divisions of right versus left, populist.
Pause it for a second.
Okay, what do we got?
Okay, so Turning Point USA, this is about 3 weeks ago, right, in Arizona?
No, this was a few days ago, wasn't it?
No, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Are you serious? It was that long ago?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
Maybe a week. Maybe just a week.
I'm slow getting my news, apparently.
But it's in Arizona. Okay. Yeah, I know I saw it like 4 or 5 days ago. So it's
this was America Fest.
Okay.
And let's keep in mind that Donald Trump was the headliner of this entire event, and here we have.
And he probably never showed up.
But here we have Cenk. He's gonna, in just a second, claim to be the representative of the progressive left.
Right, he is the representative of the progressive. Okay, let's go with it.
And I find that to be a little silly and offensive.
It's ridiculous. He's not the face of the progressive left. He doesn't represent me.
He hasn't been for a while. And honestly, the progressive left doesn't really have a face, except for maybe Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, maybe Bernie Sanders. Exactly.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, go.
So, Cenk, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that warm welcome. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Charlie. I like your cock.
So Cenk, the spirit of inviting you is that there's some confusion of these divides of right versus left, populist versus corporatist. I guess a good opening would be, as a man in the progressive movement, as one of the leaders of the progressive movement, what do you make of this last year, the state of the Democrat Party, and kind of American politics?
Pause. Can you pause 1 second?
Perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something that the right has been saying since Rush Limbaugh became a thing. They don't call it the Democratic Party. They call it the Democrat Party.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're trying to make it sound like they're rats, like they're, subhuman or whatever. I mean, that's my own take on it, rat instead of Democratic.
It's the silly game of mispronouncing names.
Exactly. It's like why they would call Kamala, just to be assholes. They've been calling the Democratic Party the Democrat Party ever since fucking Rush Limbaugh got on the radio. And that's just a thing that they've been doing forever. And I just want people to know that it's the Democratic Party. It's not the Democrat Party. Okay?
I got no love for the party.
I got no love, but I'm saying pronounce it correctly and try to stop denigrating it.
I generally hate the whole mispronouncing of names on purpose.
It pisses me off.
It's very third grade.
And it's very third grade. It's childish, and they've been doing it for fucking ever. Anyway, okay, sorry. I just had to interject.
Carry on.
Go back a couple seconds. I'm sorry.
Of right versus left, populist
up
versus corporatist. I guess a good opening would be, as a man in the progressive movement, as one of the leaders of...
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Right versus left?
Did you catch that?
He said right versus left, something versus corporatist.
No, he said he has to congratulate them on a revolution well done.
Oh, I did not hear that.
You didn't hear that? That's
what
he said.
Play it again real quick.
Okay, let me see if
I
can
go back like 5 seconds.
Progressive movement. What do you make of this last year, the state of the Democrat Party, and kind of American politics from the more progressive left perspective?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm proud to represent the left flank of the pop.
Okay, what are you saying? What's going on?
Did you catch that?
No. That he's proud to represent the left flank?
Well, no, he's telling these Republicans, and these aren't just regular Republicans. These are
hardcore assholes, MAGA douchebags.
Well, they're Christian nationalists. They're not even
like Christian nationalists. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're against basically America and the Constitution and everything else that it stands for. And but as far as it being a revolution well done, I mean, yeah, in a way. I mean they've repudiated and eradicated the Dick Cheney, George W. Bush,
faction,
Mitt Romney faction of the Republican Party, and I mean he does have a point there. And why haven't we been able to do that on the Democratic side?
Because
we still have these fucking fossils running the party into the ground.
Both sides.
You know, they lose time and time and time again, and they turn around and blame the left. The left had no power. The left had no candidate. And, you know, the mainstream candidate didn't even put forth very many leftist policy positions.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused at how it's the left's fault. But I don't know. Democrats just seem to like to lose.
They can't get their shit together. That's for sure. I do know that. I mean,
they're becoming the Washington Generals. You know who that is, right?
Yes, they always lose against the
Globetrotters.
Sorry,
they go out there.
I was spinning my basketball on my finger. Yeah, yeah, they're always losing because they don't have the balls to fucking get out there and just say something and make a declaration and just have the balls to do something.
It's not about balls.
Republicans do it all the time.
Listen, dude, it's not balls. It's not the balls. People always say, when are they going to learn? When are they going to learn? Why are they cowards? It's not that. It's not that. They can't. They have to put a candidate out there that is simpatico with the corporate donors.
Well, yeah, of course. But they're never going to get that.
Well, that's what they have to do, though, and they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it over and over and over. And if it means they lose, I mean, the corporations win regardless.
Oh yeah,
if the Republicans
always win. Look at fucking Jeff Bezos sitting at fucking Mar-a-Lago the last couple of days with all the other billionaires. They all fucking kiss the ring.
It's a big douchebag convention.
Yeah.
But the only way that the corporations and the billionaires lose is if the progressive left wins. So. I don't know. I think a lot of the people that support the Democratic Party, as in like donors, would rather have a Republican win than a Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, because it makes the status quo, just fine, and then they're gonna have lower taxes, and they don't have to worry about shit. They don't have to worry about big change. With the Bernie Sanders, with a populist like Bernie Sanders, which we need a populist like Bernie Sanders that's about 40 years younger than Bernie Sanders. But we need that kind of populist, I believe. We talked about this before, to lead this country. I think it'd be a great thing. A populist that actually cares about the people, not a populist like Donald Trump that only cares about the rich people. So, and these morons that voted for Trump, they think that he actually cares for them. And when I say morons, I mean these are stupid people. These are low information voters that don't do their research. And these are the people that Googled, how do I change my vote the day after they voted? I mean, I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. You're stupid. You're a dumb person. You're a dumb person. And you know what? For me to say that is a nasty, terrible thing, and I'm not that kind of guy, but you know what? Sorry, fuck you. You're dumb.
Well, I think there's some other explanations for it.
Okay. Bring them forth. Please.
No, if you go back to 2016, Trump was the only one speaking to the pain of people in working class cities and working class states.
Besides Bernie.
People who have left.
Besides
Bernie.
Well,
yeah, I mean, but they cannot vote for Bernie in the general election.
Well, he was there too. I mean, they were both candidates.
In the primary.
Yeah.
But in November, when the ballot came out.
Oh, after it was Hillary. Yeah.
Bernie Sanders wasn't on it. And you have Hillary Clinton, you have Joe Biden, you have Kamala Harris,
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. I mean, their job is to protect the status quo.
Yeah, you are correct. I mean, it's all about the party.
And I'm not saying
you got to rally behind the party.
I sure as fuck didn't vote for Trump, and nor would I, because he's a fake populist. But he does speak the language of populism in a lot of ways to a lot of people.
Because a lot of stupid people are stupid enough to believe it.
A lot of people will side with the candidate that is at least acknowledging their pain.
Yeah.
You know, some of us
because they're too dumb to do their fucking research. I'm sorry. I'm the dick. Okay, I'm the bad guy. I'm bad cop. Tonight, I'm bad cop.
I'm good cop.
You're a good cop. I'm bad cop. Americans are stupid. Is what
I think we've gotten off topic here. Should we go back?
Yeah, let's go back to Cenk.
Okay.
Turn the video back on. Let's go back to the video.
What do you make of this?
Come on, folks. Video time.
The Democrat Party and kind of
have a drink.
Politics from the more progressive left perspective.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm proud to represent the left flank of the populist movement, and I think we need both flanks, so I'm happy to have this conversation. In terms of what has gone wrong in the Democratic Party, it's the same thing that went wrong in the Republican Party, but I do have to give you guys credit for a revolution well done. And what I mean by that is not a revolution.
Well, that's something.
A revolution well done.
Well, do they really disagree with Mitch McConnell, though, on principle? Or do they disagree with Mitch McConnell because Mitch McConnell disagrees with Trump?
Wait, did they even mention Mitch McConnell?
Yeah, were you not listening?
I listened to it. I didn't hear anything about Mitch McConnell.
No, they brought up Mitch McConnell, and they were like, what do you guys think of Mitch McConnell? And they all booed him.
Oh, at the very end there. Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
No, I thought he was talking about his okay. Play it again. I missed the Mitch McConnell
Okay,
part.
I'm going back.
Okay, go back, like 20 seconds.
Okay, clean your ears out and listen this time.
What do you make of this last year, the state of the Democrat Party, and kind of American politics from the more progressive left perspective?
State of the Democrat
first
Party.
Of all, I'm proud to represent
from the left
flank of the populist movement.
Cenk is
I
proud.
think we need both flanks, so I'm happy to have this conversation. In terms of
I like flank
what
steak.
has gone wrong in the Democratic Party, it's the same thing that went wrong in the Republican Party, but I do have to give you guys credit for a revolution well done.
A revolution well done. Where's Mitch McConnell?
And what I mean by
is it delayed? I feel like you're getting.
There was no Mitch McConnell. There was no talk of Mitch McConnell.
I feel like you're seeing it from a different.
Did you just hear the same thing I heard?
No, I didn't.
He didn't say Mitch McConnell.
He did on my screen.
Not on my screen. He said he was talking about the left flank being on both sides of both flanks.
Oh my gosh. See, you're getting it like probably 10, 15 seconds behind what I'm getting.
I heard nothing about well, let it play and
okay, let's let it play.
Just keep it playing and then I'll get to Mitch.
Okay.
Because I heard nothing about Mitch McConnell.
The Democratic Party or the left or the country, but a revolution against the establishment. So
okay, he says that is not a revolution against the.
I knew you guys.
It's a revolution against the establishment.
Real,
so
in fighting against the
cheering.
establishment, when
I knew you guys
on right-wing shows and
were for real and fighting against the establishment. When I started going on right-wing shows, and
I would get back is,
I would say something negative.
Pelosi's terrible, but Mitch McConnell's great.
Let's do that here. What do you guys think of Mitch McConnell?
Oh, there's Mitch McConnell.
All right.
Pelosi's bad, but Mitch McConnell's great, is what he said.
So look, for my left-wing friends that are watching out there, they just booed Mitch McConnell. That's a great thing, okay? And let's do one more.
Oh, the people on the right just booed Mitch McConnell. That's a great thing, he says.
Okay,
Dick
so what they're
Cheney.
getting
Oh, and they
at,
boo Dick Cheney too. Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm like 20 or 30 seconds ahead of you for some reason. I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
seeing a different bit
I'm with
than
you
you
now.
are.
I'm with you now. I'm up to speed. And actually, I did see this clip before, all the way up to this point, and talking about Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi and that whole deal. Yeah, it's like he's pandering to them, basically.
Well,
saying,
the point he's making, and I'm not completely mad at it, is that you guys successfully threw these assholes out of your party and took control, and they think it's a populist revolution, but that it's just a different version of the establishment. And Cenk's point is, and maybe it didn't get that far on your end, was when are we going to throw out the bums on our side? When are we going to get rid of?
When are we going to get rid of Pelosi?
The Pelosi's and the Schumers and all these hacks that have just been there forever, serving the establishment and really, really torpedoing the left. I mean, they're the left's greatest enemy. They're the ones that have kept us down.
I gotta agree with you there.
And so I'm not completely mad at him saying that.
No, I'm not either. And
the context of it and the place, though. Right. I mean, let's go. And this is what Kulinski was saying too. Let's go to Turning Point USA in front of all these basically, Christian white nationalists and shit on Democrats. Probably not the most productive.
Yeah, it could have been better. But I do agree with what you're saying in general about what he's saying. Because we got to get rid of the old guard.
Yeah.
Tired of these. And if you're going to be in Congress, then you don't get to fucking invest in anything. All your money from the time you get into office until you leave office is going to be held in a trust by someone that you have no control over, and you don't get to touch it because you are on committees that deal with the fucking SEC and all kinds of shit. And so that's how these motherfuckers, because every congressperson that has gotten into office or senator, by the time they leave, they're fucking multimillionaires.
Yeah, we've got.
Why is that? Why the fuck is that? Because they're getting insider information all the time, and they're all sharing it. And they're all fucking making a gazillion dollars. And then when something is going to tax, they're like, "Oh, better dump it." 2 days before. It's they are the privileged fucking class.
Well, we live in a system where winning public office is basically winning the lottery.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's not just the insider trading, which we talked about, I think, on a previous episode.
Yeah, we did.
But it's also the special interest groups, the lobbyists, the donors.
Well, yeah, they pay for the privilege. It's pay to play.
Yeah, they do.
That's our country. Pay to play.
There's a reason middle class people, or maybe upper middle class for the most part, get into government and come out millionaires. Then they go sit on the board at Raytheon or Pfizer, and some asshole from Pfizer comes back into the government. We've gotten off topic. We have gotten off topic again, and we are at almost 45 minutes.
Oh my God. Okay, let's get back.
Okay, I'm gonna just let this play for a little bit. If there's
all right, let it play. I'm not gonna interrupt at all. I'm just gonna let it.
You're getting it after me. So if there's something you want to discuss,
okay.
I will wait for you.
Yeah, so I'm like on a maybe 10-second time delay.
I think it's more than that, and I don't know why we're not seeing it at the same time. That's kind of irritating.
Because the video, that is weird, but we'll figure it out.
I think the software is kind of shite, honestly.
That could be.
Okay. I'm gonna turn this.
Go on.
Can you hear it? Okay. Do I need to turn the volume up?
Oh yeah, no, the volume's perfect. Yeah, okay. I can hear him just fine.
All right, here we go.
Left-wing friends out there, we have been waiting for the right-wing populists to boo Mitch McConnell and Dick Cheney our whole lives. Take the win. Take the win. Now, what we need to do in the Democratic Party is we need to do likewise. We need to have a revolt against the Joe Bidens, the Kamala Harrises, and the Nancy Pelosi.
You notice he said the Democratic Party. Sorry. Not the Democrat Party.
And now all of a sudden the Dick Cheneys. What are they doing on our
Nancy
side?
Pelosi, yeah, she's going to get the fuck out.
Right?
I have to interject. When all of a sudden Kamala Harris is doing the Liz Cheney thing, I said, does she want to lose? I mean,
what's amazing is I said the same thing. Look, Dick Cheney polls at 13%. What lunatic thought it was a good idea to wrap yourself around Dick Cheney? I mean, when we started the Young Turks 22 years ago, longest running show in internet history, first ever.
That's kind of gross. Wrap yourself around Dick.
One of the driving forces was get Dick Cheney out of office. Right? And now for Kamala Harris to come full circle and say, oh, I've got 90 corporate CEOs backing me, and I've got all these executives on my side, and I've got Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney on my side. It was so counterproductive. It's not what the left wing stands for. It's not what the Democratic Party should be about. So the problem is the establishment. They are controlled by the donor class, and mainstream media is their marketing arm.
Does he have a point?
They do propaganda.
Or is he just going to go on?
What part were you at just now?
Where he's talking about Dick Cheney and why the left is spinning its wheels trying to get the support from the Cheneys, basically.
Well, it's stupid.
Yeah, it was stupid.
I mean, who likes Dick Cheney?
But does he have a point? Does he have another point?
Well, I mean, it's kind of just him shitting on Democrats. But what he actually gets into, and you'll see it when I start it back up again, is him saying that it's not the mainstream and the world against the conservatives, like the narrative conservatives like to put out there is like the whole world and all the media and the mainstream, everyone's out to get us. And Junk's point was, it's not just you. They hate the Bernie Sanders left as much as they hate the populist right. And I would say they hate, I would say they hate the populist left a lot more because we're the actual threat.
Right.
You know, the populist right is kind of the counterfeit version of what we want and what we are.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, but I think there's a lot of crossover. I think a lot of people that voted for Trump and a lot of people that went down that pipeline were Bernie Sanders supporters.
Yeah, I think you're totally right.
Who had populist sensibilities.
Right. But they couldn't discern between Trump and I don't know how you couldn't fucking discern between Trump and Bernie. I mean, one man speaks of love and peace and healthcare. And the other guy talks about hate and division. So where I don't get it.
Well, people.
Sorry. What?
There's never been a time where Trump and Bernie have been on the same ballot against each other.
No, I mean they're both big populists, but I mean,
if it had happened in 2016, Bernie would have won, and we wouldn't have had to go any of this nightmare.
If he would have had the fucking party behind him, instead of fucking saying, "Oh, it's Hillary's turn, she's the one we want." No, people said. The people want fucking bird. Did you not see the bird that landed on his podium at the stadium when he was speaking? I mean, that's a fucking sign from God. This is the guy that was supposed to be our president against this fucking nightmare of a Trump. But no, you said no. Hillary gets her turn. She's worked so hard. It should be hers. No, fuck you. The people say what they want. And the people said Bernie, but the party said Hillary. And then we got fucked, and we got fucking Trump. And
the crazy thing about that is the big thing that they were all saying back in 2016 was that Hillary was the electable one. She was the one that could beat Trump.
Not at all. Not at all.
But electable. literally none of the polls said that. Every single poll.
Pokemon Go retard. I mean, what the fuck? She didn't know what she was doing. Bernie was the fucking natural. He should have been our president.
Well, she was an establishment corporate tool. She's a warmonger. She's basically a neocon.
Oh yeah, she's a neocon. I mean, she's married to the original neocon.
There were a lot of people that didn't want to hear that. They were so afraid of Trump, and they were so afraid of
because they were afraid of Bernie. Oh, he's a socialist. Oh,
this is a topic for another day. But he's not even really a socialist.
No, he's not. That's another topic, but that's what got fucked is he got fucked, in my opinion.
I got called on, I can't remember, it was Twitter or Facebook or something back in 2016. I got called a mouthy little girl by some boomer ass.
Really?
Republican or not Republican,
fucking
Democrat.
Boomers.
I guess I was a little bit too uppity.
A little too cocky?
Yeah. I mean, I do take the little girl thing as a compliment, as a middle-aged woman in my 40s.
You nasty uppity bitch, you.
Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to speak. I'm supposed to be spoken to.
Oh, I should just sit back and be demure.
You know, the crazy thing too is that I saw after the 2016 election, I saw people on Facebook, well-respected Democrats, in my social circles or whatever that I followed and that followed me, like literally calling for martial law. And
no shit, really?
I did. We need to call for martial law. We need to redo the election. Like, it was very reminiscent of what Trump did. And you know what? Nobody can lose an election now without some kind of fucking excuse.
Yeah.
And some reason to rile their people up and whatever. It was Russiagate. They cheated. Wow. And I mean, luckily this time, we'll take the L and go home.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be.
Hopefully fascism won't take over, so we'll see.
I wasn't going to be that happy that Kamala won, other than the fact that maybe Trump would go away forever.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I wasn't excited about a Harris administration.
I was excited.
I am fully aware of what she is.
Oh yeah, she's a corporatist for sure. Yeah. I mean, look at her brother-in-law. He was on the board of Uber, and he's the one that told her to shut it down on certain things. Don't talk about stuff for the people. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't talk about the things that were putting you ahead in the polls.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
it was when she went away from that stuff is when she started to fall behind.
Yeah, they fucked up, on a lot of different fronts, obviously. But
I think Cenk has a point here, and I don't think you've gotten to this yet, where he's talking about if the right and left populist movements can unite in some way.
If they could come together, yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
And what would that look like? I think that could help labor unions, because I think there's a lot of blue collar labor union type people that switched over to Trump last time.
Yeah, except MAGA is anti-union.
I know, that's the contradiction, right?
Yeah, because they think they're union, they think they're pro-union, but they're actually anti-union.
Oh, they're very anti-union.
Yeah, then because again, here's the reason: because people are stupid.
It's not stupid. I don't think
and
it's stupid.
They believe whatever this fucking moron tells them, and he says unions are bad, and so they go, "Oh, unions are bad because they give us more money," and
I think there are some legitimate rank and file union members that switched over and voted for Trump. The Teamsters didn't even endorse Harris.
Oh yeah, the Teamsters were out.
Yeah,
but she did get the AFL-CIO, I believe.
Well, there's all these groups.
Whatever his name is.
There's all these groups that Democrats have always taken for granted.
And exactly. You're right. Right there. Yeah. They've taken them for granted. And that's what they did this last time. They took them for granted.
Yeah, well, that's what they've been doing for the last three elections.
They fucked up.
They expect your vote. They feel entitled to your vote. They felt entitled to my vote in 2016.
Yeah, you got to fight for every goddamn vote. This is bread and butter. You don't just assume you get that vote. Fuck you. Work for it. Get out there. And talk to the people. And don't denigrate them and don't talk down to them. And that's another thing they did. They fucked up.
I think Kamala did a good job of that, actually, not acting like she was entitled to anybody's votes.
At one point, she talked down to people, and at one point, Barack in Detroit talked down to young black men. Talked down to them.
Yeah, and there's another group that's been taken for granted.
Exactly, and they're like, you know what, old man, fuck you. I was a baby when you were president, and you're telling me how to live my life. Suck my dick. I'm gonna vote for Trump. They
didn't go in droves, but it was enough.
No, not in droves, but
it was enough at the margins that it was enough.
Or they were just like, I'm not even going to vote. Yeah, one or the other. Yeah. How's that ultralight?
It's
watery.
It's almost a White Claw, really.
It's almost like you put a little lemon juice in there and some sugar. Oh my God. You're so good.
It's not doing much for me. I don't feel much of a buzz tonight. And I've had two so far. Should we finish watching this?
Yeah, let's go. Keep going.
Okay, let's do it.
How much more are we gonna watch though? Don't drag it on forever.
Let's go another 10 minutes or so.
Okay, 10.
Mainstream media you think is against you. You think they're against the right wing. But they also hate Bernie Sanders. and they also hate me, and they also hate the populists on the left. What mainstream media really loves is the establishment and the elites. They're against all of us combined.
Of course they do, because that's who pays their bills.
If we dare unite on issues we agree on, they will be livid, and it'll be a beautiful day in America.
Yeah, he's got a point. He's got a point.
That is correct. I mean, you were
I
kicked
can't
off
disagree
of
with
some
him
of the
there.
cable news channels for having heterodox opinions on certain issues. So let's kind of look at the.
But I hate that motherfucker, Charlie Kirk. I just want to hit him in the face.
Why is it that
He's disgusting.
Silent.
And Bernie Sanders with two attempts actually won the primary in 2016, and he had it stolen. Again, stolen election talk can be a little controversial. They stole it from Bernie Sanders in 2016. Why was that revolution not successful?
All right, I got to agree with Charlie Kirk there. Yes, they stole it from Bernie.
Was a celebrity.
So let's talk about that for a second.
The Democratic Party stole the primary away from Bernie because they believed that Hillary, it was her turn and she deserved it.
Okay, but I mean, Trump did something very similar on the other side, and the question was, why was the Republican revolution on Trump's side successful and the Bernie Sanders revolution failed?
Right.
In two different elections. What was the difference?
Well, I think the difference
I've already touched on it, but go ahead and then
I believe the difference was because Trump just took over. He took no prisoners. He said, "Fuck you, it's mine. I'm taking it." I've decided that the Republican Party, they're the dumb ones that I can control, and I'm just gonna fucking railroad through, and that's what he did. But Bernie is a man who's not gonna, fuck over people, and so he's gonna play by the rules, and he's gonna do what has to be done, and he's gonna play. Yeah, he played by the rules, and he got fucked because the party said we want Hillary, and you know what? I've got people on the left that say, you're retarded. You don't know what you're talking about. It was, it never happened. The whole stuff at the primaries, where everybody was screaming and saying, going ape shit about, it was nuts. It was crazy. There was all kinds of crazy shit going on in the Democratic primary when it was Hillary taking over. But they just said, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's hers. So, tough shit. You don't like it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Fuck
you. I think a lot of the difference between the
look at Kansas. Look at Kansas. Kansas is a caucus state, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to shove in there, but that because I used to live in Kansas, and Kansas is a caucus state, and I have friends who are hardcore Bernie supporters, and they went to the caucuses, and they were in the fucking school, gymnasiums with the other 400 people, and it was like half and half Bernie versus Trump people, and mostly Bernie, a little bit more, and no, primary it was Bernie versus what's her name, Hillary, but the Bernie people were above, and they were like, no, fucking Bernie is our guy. We want Bernie, and so I know. I mean, this is anecdotal, of course. It's one county. It's where Lawrence, Kansas is, where I used to live. It's the only blue county in the whole of Kansas. But I mean, look at Kansas too. They put the right for a woman to choose abortion or not in the Constitution. So that's Kansas. It's a red state, but they're
there's another whole show in people voting against their own interests.
Oh yeah, totally.
Well, voting for candidates that oppose policy positions that they support.
Indeed.
I mean, we could do a whole show about that.
Yeah, sure. But to get back to my point, yes, I think Bernie got fucked.
Well, yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. But you had the same thing on the Republican side trying to sabotage Trump, right?
Sure, because they thought he was a fucking joke, because he is a joke.
He is a fucking joke.
But for some reason, the fucking majority of the populace thinks he's a real person and thinks he's a good thing for the country. So
it's a low bar in the world of the blind. The one-eyed man is king, and if he seems a little bit real, and you compare that to what else is out there. I mean,
people are looking at TV.
On a stage with Bernie Sanders, then yeah, he's exposed. On a stage with somebody like Jon Stewart, yeah, he's totally exposed. But when he's up there with these corporate hack shills
dipshit motherfuckers
that don't speak like humans, they speak like fucking robots.
And he just rips them down.
Yeah.
By calling them names like a fucking third grader. And the fucking populace loves it.
But I think there's something more to the fact that Trump was able to get over on the Republican Party and the left hasn't really been able to get over on the Democratic Party. And the reason is that Trump, at the end of the day, is an establishment shill. He's got a different style. And
he's a total shill, though. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything.
I mean, look, he's the fucking right hand man of Elon Musk.
Yeah, he's the friend of corporations and billionaires, so of course they're not going to push back on him. And not only that, you had Hillary Clinton. You've heard of the Pied Piper strategy, right?
No, what's up?
So in 2016, Hillary Clinton thought that Trump was going to be the easy candidate to beat. So they got all of their allies in media to push Trump. Remember in 2016 how it was just wall-to-wall Trump on every channel all the time?
Yeah. That's all they did was talk about him.
Yeah. That was part of the Pied Piper strategy. So you had the Democrats even pushing Trump because they thought they could beat him easier.
They thought that we show how ludicrous he is, then the people will say, "Oh, he's nuts."
And then the general election
that did not work.
Would just be a cakewalk.
All it did was help him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the corporations don't care because if Trump's in office, they're good. If Hillary's in office,
because the corporations give money to both sides.
Yeah. If Bernie's in office, they're fucked, right? Yeah. And if that real left-wing revolution really takes hold and becomes, something big, then they're in real trouble.
Exactly.
We could have been moving towards another New Deal, another great society, and trending that direction, and we've gone totally the other direction. And it's all to the benefit of the corporations and the 1% and the billionaires. And so, they get their way. If Trump wins, they get their way. If Hillary wins. So I think that's another reason why,
So you're saying we're fucked whichever way we go?
No, I'm not saying we're fucked whichever way we go. I mean, we kind of are right now because the left is just so splintered and factionalized and fighting
can't get their shit together.
Fighting amongst ourselves. And a lot of the left is, doing the right wing pivot, unfortunately.
Yeah, like
Cenk and Anna. It's kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we going to watch more of that? I don't know.
Should we watch more of that? We're at about an hour. We didn't really get into much of it.
No, we're good. I think we saw enough of them. I mean, basically, we talked about it. I mean, it's what do you call it? It's the capitulation of the left to the right in for money. I mean, it seems like, to make sure that they stay on the air.
Yeah, I mean, they're a business.
Yeah, they're a business.
Cenk is a businessman, and I think his ego and his business come before his politics.
Yeah,
and I think you see his ego coming into play where he's calling Sam Seder a grifter and he won't debate him. Yeah. He knows he'll be made a fool of. Anyone that debates Sam Seder is made a fool of.
Pretty much, unless you're just an honest person that doesn't know what you're doing.
I know, but you're not going to win it. You're not going to win a debate against Sam Seder.
No one will. Yeah. I mean, unless you're on the same side, and then what's the debate?
Steven Crowder has been running away from him for years.
Oh my God, yeah, many years. Steven Crowder, what a big fucking.
But to call him a grifter is just silly, and it just shows Cenk's pride and ego has been.
Yeah, I can't believe you called him a grifter. That's insane because Sam Seder is the furthest thing from a grifter there is.
Yeah.
Sam Seder is above board on all levels. Like this dude is, he's someone I strive to be more like, Yeah. I mean, if I could be more, politically minded and smart in his way that he is, I'd love to do that. But I can learn from him, which is nice. But yeah, he's pure.
So I guess let's finish with this. Do you think?
Wait, we can't finish.
Well, we're at it like an hour and 5 minutes.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what did we leave out, though? We left something out.
Well, we didn't watch that whole video.
No, we didn't watch the whole video, but we left something out.
What did we leave out?
Oh, we left out MAGA rejecting Rama.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be another show. There's a whole show in that.
That just happened this week.
I know. There's a full-on
Rama Schwango dickweed called Americans lazy or some shit and said they can't do the work or some shit. And MAGA pushed back.
There's a full-on civil war.
Yeah.
Well, you've got the tech bros versus the racists.
Exactly. There you go.
It's like the political version of bum fights.
Oh my God, that's so succinct. That's perfect. That is so perfect.
Let him duke it out, man. We all saw it coming. We all knew Trump and Elon.
And let's get the rickshaws in there and start moving people around with Jerry.
They're always walking around the city anyway. Just strap something to them.
Put those fuckers to work. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
Well, I think to finish, I think we maybe share a few thoughts about.
Okay, yeah, let's finish up.
What we really think the end game is. I mean, part of me wants
for what?
For TYT, I think.
Oh, TYT. Oh.
Part of me wants to think that it's strategic. It's people don't want to be yelled at. People don't want to be preached to, chastised, and maybe they're taking a good cop approach. I mean, This is the charitable side of me thinking this. And honestly, a lot of what Cenk said in that interview didn't really bother me that much.
Yeah.
Other than he really didn't push back. Like, he's kind of giving Trump and that side a pass on a lot of the stuff he's shitting on Democrats for. But
he's being kind of passive.
Drawing some comparisons and common ground with populists, I think is a good thing.
Well,
whether he's doing it for
for personal gain or not, we don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, the jury's still out, and I'm still,
Well, you know what?
After the Jimmy Dore and the Dave Rubin bullshit.
Right.
To look at this and to see Ana Kasparian.
And also, you know what? When everybody came out 2 weeks ago and was talking about these guys, before we talked about it, all the different left wing, like your buddy Kalimsky.
My buddy.
Yeah. Kyle Kalinske. And there's a couple. The Humanist Report, that guy, I like him.
They're all younger than us.
I know they're all younger. Yeah, they're all in their early 30s.
We're all old fucking Gen Xers. Yeah. Completely side point. Our generation sucks, man. If you look at
in general, yeah.
Well, if you look at January 6th, look at the ages of all those people.
Yeah, and Gen Xers.
I would tell. And isn't voting for somebody like Trump like totally on brand for Gen X? To just be like,
say, fuck the world.
Yeah, to just be like, I don't care, fuck everyone.
Yeah, that is sound brand.
We are the generation that burned down Woodstock.
Right, but anyway,
we took the peace and the love, and in '99 we set it on fire, like literally.
I forgot my point.
I'm a Zennial though. You're a full-on Gen Xer.
I'm a full-on Gen Xer. Yeah.
I'm only partial.
You're on the cusp.
I'm on the cusp.
Yeah.
The cutting edge.
And you made me forget what I was going to talk about. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
That's going, douche. No, I'm just.
I love
rude. You. No, you're fantastic. I'm the douche.
Oh, thank you. Gonna make me
cry. I had a point, but I totally forgot what it was.
I'm sorry.
And it happens. But I'll tell you what, though. I fucking love that light in your window.
Do you like that?
On air. That is the shizzle.
You like that shit?
But, yeah, I do. I really do.
Thank you.
I want to get one. I want to get a smaller one though. I want to get a smaller one that I'll put on the side over here. Up above my head.
I need to figure out a way to get it not blurry on camera. It doesn't.
It's a wee bit blurry, but it's not bad. Yeah.
It doesn't look that blurry in person.
No.
I'll figure it out. I don't know. I don't know how this shit works. I grew up with analog. So did you.
I know exactly. Yeah, we're all about analog. But I dig it.
Analog people living in a digital world.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, you ready to call it?
I think we should.
Should we roll the end credits here?
Let's roll end credits. And next week, it's either going to be Sunday or Monday, if we're not too drunk and passed out afterwards.
I've got a 6:30 flight tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah, you're leaving early. That's right.
I'm going to be drunk as hell tomorrow night.
Oh, that's the way to do it. Where are you going again? Back home? Or? Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Oh, for family time or what's going on?
Yeah, New Year's party.
Oh, New Year's. Oh, New Year's. That's right.
Karaoke, bitches.
I forgot. Well, we're still in the middle of between Christmas and New Year's. It's this magical time where time doesn't exist.
I know, it's weird. You know? Work is weird. Yeah.
Oh, weird. I'm going to go. My landlady has been trying to get me to go to a dinner with our neighbors because she goes with these neighbors.
Is she setting you up with a lady?
No. It's not setting me up. No.
Damn it.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that. Don't get me wrong. I could use some
female companionship.
Yeah, I could use a little companionship, sure. But no. This is just for dinner. And I said after my last fiasco with my brother on Christmas and the big argument. Did I tell you about that?
No, you didn't.
Okay,
let's do that off air. How about?
Yeah, we'll do that off air. But anyway, she's been trying to get me to come, hang out with neighbors for a dinner, and I've always been like, no, I'll do it when I do it. Blah 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 blah.
Do it, man.
But this time, yeah, no. I said New Year's. What are we doing? And she told me they said they're doing it. I said I'm in. Fucking count me in. So New Year's, I'll be at the neighbors. Yeah. So I'm totally into it, and I don't know. I mean, there are people I've talked to on the street, but never had a social interaction really with. So it should be interesting. It should be good. I think it'll be fun.
Got to put yourself out there.
Got to put yourself out there, and they're just neighbors, so I think it'll be a fun time.
It's good to know your neighbors. I don't know any of my neighbors.
Yeah, I don't know my neighbors that much. I know them a little bit here and there, but I think it'll be a good time and just eat some food and just hang out and talk shit.
Hell yeah.
I'm not looking to get laid. I'm just looking to eat some good food.
That's when you get to be our age, the good food is like
all you need is good food. Yeah, exactly.
better than the getting laid.
If you can get laid, great. But most of the time that ain't gonna
happen. Nothing wrong with that.
Right. Exactly. All right, shut this bitch down and let's talk.
Should we shut her down? Let's shut her down.
Shut her down. I'll tell you all about Christmas. Are we down?
I'm trying to get it. No.
Oh, there you go. I told you that was I think this.
Why is it so loud?
I don't know, but I love it. I fucking love it. Oh my god, and especially that. Oh, with the. Look at it. Right on.